All right, everybody. This is Chuck Jackson, Division 4 Commander, and I am getting everything set up here. And we should have both of us online now. Anyway, my name is Chuck Jackson. I'm the 4th Division Commander for the Young Marines. With me tonight, I got Mr. Chip Weber, who is the regimental commander for the Oak Regiment and the unit commander for Tornado Alley. And this is the first time both of us are doing an interview type thing. And I'm all excited. Let's see how well it works. So, Chip, you there?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So, first question is, what is this Bataan Death March thingy?
The Bataan Memorial Death March is a remembrance. They've been doing it for, this year was the 29th year of doing it, and it's a big event they put on down there in White Sands, New Mexico, on the missile range there, that remembers our World War II veterans that actually went through the actual Bataan Death March 76 years ago.
Awesome. That's kind of a cool thing. So how'd you get involved with this, and where does it even take place?
I got involved. Tornado Alley Young Marines have done it for a total of 6 times now. And my training officer came to me last year and goes, "Hey, what do you think about doing this again?" And Mr. Anderson, he's done it. Last year was his 5th year. And I was like, well, we'll give it a go. I mean, he's done it with Young Marines for 5 years, so he figured he trained them up and started their training in November to do it last year. And we took 7 Young Marines up with us last year to do it.
Wow. So this is something definitely that if a young Marine or a unit wants to do, there's going to be some training involved in order to, because it's a long ways, right? I think I saw on your thing it's like 26 miles or something.
Correct. It's a marathon. It's a marathon in the high desert.
So what? We didn't call them marathons when I was in the Marine Corps. I think we call them crest hikes. But
Exactly.
So, what was the impact to the Young Marines? I mean, did it have did they know what it's about, and did it have an impact to them? Did it? I mean, what was the feels that they had?
Oh, it definitely has an impact on them. We make sure that it's just not something we load them up in a van and take them down there and go walk in the desert. They had to write a paper. They had to do a little bit of research on their own to figure out what they were even going there to do. A couple of my Young Marines, they have I believe it's a great uncle or something, someone in their family lineage that actually survived the death march. So they had that little history that they got to share with the Young Marines. And so it's just not something we load up and go do.
Oh, come on, man. You mean there was planning involved? Speaking of planning, so, I mean, obviously you're in Kansas. The death march, I think, is like in New Mexico or something like that?
Correct.
So there's a lot of logistics involved. How'd you work out all the logistics, and did you have to raise money for it?
The logistics side of it, I've got some great staff members that handle the majority of that. I'm just a dumb unit commander, so they handle the logistics of it. My paymaster tracks everything great, and he's the one that reserves the hotels for us and got everything lined up for us. As far as funding goes, each Young Marine had to raise $500 in order to go on this event. So they did that in various different ways. We did some of the fundraisers as a unit, but a lot of the Young Marines, they just wrote letters to their doctors, their dentists, just other family members, and just put it out there. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Could you help support me? And a lot of them got most of their support that way.
Oh, that's cool. Did they like give a picture of them at the completion to those people that donated, or do you what do you do for them on that?
The large organizations that donate, we have a price bracket, and the T-shirts that we have designed, like the one I'm wearing, on the back of it, it has all of our sponsors that donated $200 or more written on the back of it. And that's how we do some of it. But like the big organizations like our American Legions our Legion Riders, the Moose Lodge, and several other large organizations that donated to individual young Marines. They're required to go back to those organizations and give them a presentation. And we normally take several other young Marines with them, because some of my younger ones, that they've never done a presentation, so they don't know how to do it. So we take some support staff with them and they just give them explain to them why they did it again, and the experience they had while they were there, and how they felt after doing it.
Oh, that is cool. So it's a lot more than just they go hike out in the desert. I mean, they're learning some of the skill sets, maybe from JLS or something like that on public speaking, and that's really cool.
Exactly.
So on your overall view of the impact that made to the young Marines that were on this trip, would you recommend this to other units, and why would you recommend it?
Oh, definitely. Just like any of our Spaces events young Marines put together, it makes the Marines that are living in close quarters together, it makes them actually communicate with each other and go through things and learn things about each other that they would never learn if they didn't do that. And it was also cool because throughout the march, they got to meet, there was a few other units that we bumped into that were there with their JROTCs. And so they got to talk to them about it. And we met a couple, staff members and whatnot. But the cool thing was they met 3 or 4 prior young Marines that are either grown up and moved on, or one in particular that was at our hotel. He's actually a Marine now. And when we got back to our hotel after dinner, he was getting there as well. And he stopped and he talked to him for a little bit, and none of them had a challenge coin on them. So a couple of my young Marines went up to his room and gave him a challenge coin, and he talked to them 2 individuals for a good 15-20 minutes, just talking about his young Marine experience and how it helped him in life, and how it has helped him in the Corps as well.
Oh, that's awesome, Chip. Well, we're about out of time, believe it or not. That was I'm trying to keep this between 5 and 10 minutes, so I know it's Easter, and I appreciate those of you that have tuned into this and will watch the rebroadcast. As always, if your unit's done something cool like Mr. Weber's unit's done, he's over there. I know I'm pointing. I have to get it. There we go. Now I'm pointing the right direction. Everything's backwards on this, and I'm trying to get used to that. So Chip's over there on my computer. Make sure you give thumbs up, and man, if you want to go out and do, I'm thinking about doing it just so maybe I can lose some of this gut training and go out with this unit. It'd be cool if we had a Division 4 response to this, and Chip's given lots of good ways to raise funds. I never thought about some of those ways. So I appreciate your time, Chip. And Division 4 is out.